A quick note before we start. All of these files and everything are available on Ange the Great's Patreon. So go over there, support him, and then you can get all these files. Well, Ange, oh my god, man, you knocked it out of the park with your 3D vehicle being simulated with your new engine sim that you've been working on. My god, man.
I mean, it's a thing. It's not meant to be like that good. Okay, I don't want you to get your hopes up about how good it is, because it's really not that good.
I did notice that it was sparing on the parameters for tires, which I've looked at BeamNG stuff. There's a lot there, so I'm not expecting the world, but I am expecting a little bit of fun and the ability to stall and have all the fun engine stuff being translated into an actual vehicle, which I think is awesome.
Yeah. I mean, it delivers on the fun, does not necessarily deliver on the realism, but we're gonna find out. I think we're gonna find out soon enough.
Well, you've been nice enough to share the latest releases of your stuff, so then we can go ahead and make kind of a walkthrough on how to put their own vehicles into here. And I've got a vehicle lined up from an automation series where I put my a basic automation car into pretty much every other sort of situation I can. So where do we start? We've got the game file here, then we've got a Blender add-on and 2 Blender files. I suppose I could just start by extracting the game file.
Yeah, I mean, that's probably a good place to start.
So, should I open up these, or should I open up Blender first and then put the add-in first before I open these up?
It's probably best to add the add-on first.
Okay, so to do an add-on, it's Edit, Preferences, go to the Add-ons tab, then Install. And I'm assuming I can install it from the zip folder, or do I have to unzip it first?
That's a good question. I actually don't know, because I don't usually install it this way. I use like a developer loader or whatever.
Fair enough. I'm going to copy the address here, paste it in here, and then interchange export add-on, and it hasn't worked. Wait, no. Oh, no, there it is. Okay, it just took a little bit to show up. So when an add-on is installed, it'll show up here, and then you click the check mark. Do I have to do anything here?
No, that should be everything. You can make sure that it worked by going to the file export, and there should be a Delta interchange format. Yeah, at the bottom.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Did you create your own file format?
Yeah.
What the hell?
Yeah. It's 2 file formats technically. So there's the interchange asset, which is like for static assets, and then there's an animation format. What
is the benefit of creating your own format over using a pre-existing format?
Well, there's actually some reasons to do it. So the first reason is I just wanted to, and I thought it was interesting. That's probably the most important reason. But so, okay, let's say that a pretty stereotypical file format to use is OBJ. Now, the problem with OBJ is that it doesn't really capture a lot of information about the objects in the scene, like important details. Like, for example, the rotation of the object or the translation. It just kind of like applies all of them and bakes it into the geometry, which is completely useless if you're making games.
Is that not mostly done in DAE as well?
Yeah, some of them do. I'm not really a fan of how it's implemented. Like FBX is another pretty common one, but I don't know. Like I want maximum control basically, and that's why I implemented these.
All right. Well, what do I do next? What's my next step?
All right. So the first thing that you want to do is we can open the Blender file that I sent you called Vehicle Wheels Only.
Oh wait, hold on. You know what? I'm going to quickly show an image that you sent me as well. If anybody knows Ange the Great's older videos, you'll recognize this car. That's epic that you've already got your own car fitting in there. This is literally days after the video. If you had I know that you wanted to stick to your schedule, but if you were a little bit later, you could have shown this really epic car. What was it, based on a Maserati, I think you said?
Yeah.
Like, having that shown would have been also pretty cool.
151. Yeah, that was not. It wasn't my schedule. It's a sponsor schedule, so not much I can do about that.
So right now I've got is that a NURBS path or something, and then just a wheel and a steering wheel.
Yeah, so this is the entire car. Now there is some method to the madness here. I can explain kind of what's going on. So the first thing, just so that we can make sense of what we're looking at, you can hide the wheel collection and the steering wheel collection.
Steering wheel and wheel. Okay.
Yeah, okay. So what's left is basically the vehicle hierarchy. So there's one empty called vehicle root. This is basically where you parent all of the geometry that's going to make up the car body. That's the object that you parent it to.
Okay.
If that makes sense. So now there's another empty for the camera eye. That's basically where you sit when you're in the cockpit view.
Mm-hmm.
So the camera is just there.
I think that is convenient.
A debugging tool.
Because a lot of the times in games you have to do a lot of jankery to get the camera to work. I think that's actually quite nice to have it here in Blender so I could just do it all in one go.
Yeah. So you don't have to test it in the game. That's why I just added the camera. But the camera doesn't do anything. It's not exported. It's just a debugging tool in Blender. Now that sphere, that's basically what the default car geometry is. It's literally just a sphere to indicate the position of the car. So if you wanted to add geometry, you could replace that with your car body or whatever other parts you want.
Okay.
Yeah, so the position of all of these objects is going to be relative to that vehicle root object. So that sphere, that's just going to show up kind of buried in the road right at the exact center of the vehicle.
Okay, so this is the ground plane, in the game as well. Okay. Not all games are like that. Usually they want you to put the body on the thing if you're making a mod or something. So that makes sense, because as you've said, it is a very rudimentary game, so that's fine. Let me just grab then a car. So this is something I've been working on in other places. Let's rotate this on the x-axis 90 degrees. I'm just going to hide the wheels. Don't need that. I don't think we need... Okay, well, that's all one thing. There, can I just now grab this?
So what I would suggest is to just simply import all of these objects, and you can actually mod the wheels too. So we can change the wheels as well to the wheels that you've chosen. Okay, excellent. So all you have to do is you just have to set the parent of all of those objects to the vehicle root, and that's literally it pretty much.
I think I shift control click vehicle root, then control P and the object? No.
Yeah, that should work. So I mean, this is pretty much the entire process here. So that will just work as is. Now the only thing that I will say is you just have to verify that your polygon count is not too high. The overall polygon count is not much of an issue. It's mainly just make sure there are no objects that have over 60,000 vertices in them. That's the only hard limit.
Maybe. All right, 10,000, 4,000, 3,000, 88, and 37,000.
Okay. Yeah, those should all be fine.
Okay.
You also want to make sure that you don't have any bizarre geometry either, just edges floating around or stray vertices. It does the game engine will filter out. Yeah, I mean it can happen sometimes. The game engine will try to filter out all the degenerate geometry, but it's not foolproof.
Okay. I should also point out to viewers, there is no transparency at the moment. So things like lights are just going to be solid. So as you can see here, I've already got that, and that's solid. This little windshield part here is completely solid. It's not going to be visible through. That's also in automation. For instance, headlights and things like these grills, the way in which they're done in automation is the mesh for the body is actually still there. It's not gone anywhere. All it's doing is drawing this mesh for the whole grill here underneath the body and then telling that part of the body to be invisible. So if you're trying to follow along and you want to have these sorts of things, it's just not going to work in AngeTheGreat's setup. Currently, is that something that you're planning to do in the future, have opacity maps?
Yeah, possibly. I mean, if there's a lot of interest in this particular game, then maybe I'll put some time into it. It's not actually that difficult.
Yeah, but you're working on a lot of different things. So
yeah, this is kind of the problem.
people, don't bug him. just let it be. This is not meant to be a perfect game that he's creating. It's meant to be a bit of fun.
Definitely not.
Yeah. So I just wanted to clarify that for people. So I'm going to quickly just do my steering wheel then. It's going to be a little bit tricky. Sorry that I'm doing this mid-recording session with you, Ange.
That's okay. There's yeah, you could probably just grow the selection. There's a hotkey for that. I don't remember what it is off the top of my head.
Control L also does just selecting everything that's in that same selection. Good. Okay, so now I should have a steering wheel thing. Where did it go? Gray and okay, there we go. Those two.
That looks right.
I'm just going to easily quickly join them and then call them. Do I have to give them a specific name?
No, it's not necessary. Now, yeah, joining them it's not necessary, but you can do that too. It doesn't really matter. So what you want to do with these is you want to move it under the steering wheel collection below. And then we'll just, like, you need to also reset the, what's it called again? You have to, like, reset the rotation and stuff, just so that it's, like, at a neutral, like, you see how the other one is kind of in a T pose, so to speak? So that's all you have to do, and then it'll work.
Oh, wait, what the hell? What's this?
Oh, yeah, that's the instance, because that's, like, an instance.
Okay. I was looking at that going, what's happening? Okay, so... That's a thing to keep in mind for people. That can be a bit confusing. I'm going to have to rotate this manually, though, because there is no rotation applied to the physical mesh. And then I'm just going to try to match your size here. I'm assuming it doesn't have to be perfect.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be exact. Yeah, that looks fine. Then you can delete the old steering wheel. Just make sure that it's, like, zeroed, and then you should be good.
Let's just quickly object... apply just in case. All transforms? Yeah, okay. So you said delete the old wheel now?
Yep.
And I'm assuming the badge part as well?
Yeah. And
you know what, actually, I'll leave the badge just for you. that can be in the video.
Whatever you like.
How do we line this up then with the cockpit of the vehicle? Do we move the vehicle or do we move this section around?
You move that side. You move the steering wheel.
Okay.
So just move it to where the old steering wheel was.
Yep. Probably like that. Yeah, it'll do. Whatever. Even if it's clipping in, I'm not too concerned. That's the... So I'm assuming what we would do is if now we're like, oh, that scale is wrong, we would go into here, and then we'd scale it down in here.
You could scale it there. You can also just scale the instance too. It also works.
Oh, okay. So we can...
Yeah.
Oh, okay, you mean just scale it as an object. Okay. So now we're going to have an animated wheel. What about this camera? Do I move the camera here, or do I do that in-game?
You can move it here. So you want to adjust the camera eye empty. You can press 0 just to move into the camera, and then you can adjust it that way too, just to get it right.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with a side view so I can line it up with kind of the headrest area. Going to show a lot of hood there, and then back to 0. GX, no, GY, there we go, GY, we'll rotate. There we go. That looks fairly good. Off-centered camera, love it. Then wheels. So we got wheels on the other one as well, though I hid them. So I'm just going to grab... Oh, okay, so... For people wondering, I did all of this to get it into a game called Assetto Corsa. That's why it's all laid out like this. When you export something from BeamNG, it won't be exactly like this. But you can get the general idea of what you're meant to do. These wheels and tires will also be in the center, so you could just leave them here. I'm assuming they have to be in the center?
Yeah, they do.
Okay. Then let's go X0... Y0 and Z0. Apparently it doesn't want to zero out properly. There we go. Okay. So that'll do?
Yep, that looks good.
Right, so let's copy that. Oh, I do have different front and rear tires. I suppose that doesn't really matter, does it? I'll just go.
I don't
Yeah.
I don't have front and rear yet, so you're gonna have
enough.
to choose the same for all 4.
Do you want this to be rotated as an object to be in line with the vehicle?
Okay, so what you want to do is you want to match the orientation of the wheel that's already in the file
Oh,
So
okay.
that's the orientation that you want. And
Z.
there's a
There
bit
we
of a
go.
side note here, important detail. So you'll notice that the tire is huge. There's a reason for this. So the radius is exactly 1 meter, and this is like a standard radius because the wheel size is actually a procedural in the game because you can change that.
Okay.
So you have to make sure that the tire has a 1 meter radius.
Otherwise, it'll just be floating or clipping into the ground.
Yeah, it'll just look weird.
Good enough. Okay. So I just drag it into the collection. Don't have to parent to anything.
Nope.
Okay, cool. Then delete that. And wheel root, I suppose I keep.
Yeah, so let me think. How did I do this last time? Okay, so actually you might have to make you're gonna have to match. Can you actually undo the deletion of the I just want to check something because I don't remember how I did this. Okay.
Fair
Yeah,
enough.
so basically what you want to do is I did this one differently for some reason. You have to parent the wheel objects to the wheel root empty. And then it should be okay.
So what I'm doing is I'm selecting my new wheel, control selecting the empty, control P object.
Yeah, but you want the other empty, the wheel root empty.
Oh, whoops, my bad. All right, then we can delete these two.
Yeah, then you can safely delete those. Right. I think that's more or less everything. I can't think of anything else that needs to be done.
Then export.
Yeah, okay. So now the export process, what you want to do is, so make sure that everything that we want to export, like the wheel and the steering wheel, is visible. And then select everything, like just press A, and then you can just go File, Export, and then just use the interchange format.
It's gone.
Unless it decides to disappear for some reason.
Export. Okay, so which one are we going for?
You want the DIA format, the first one.
DIA? Cool. Any sort of name?
So, the name is not important. So have you unzipped the game folder yet?
Yep, this is it.
Okay, so we can go inside the game folder and go to Assets and Vehicles, and we can start making our own vehicle here. So you can call it like whatever you want, something descriptive.
7, because that's the name of the car. And then just export.
Yeah, it all looks correct. So now we'll find out. We'll find out if there's any weird stuff that it doesn't like.
Blender went away.
Okay. That's not supposed to happen.
We do have a 7 DIA.
Yeah, it seems
It's
kind of
very small. Oh dear. Let's try this one last time. We've got it saved this time around. Export.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
It's weird that it. Yeah, this must be a Blender bug because it should not crash while running a script. It kind of defeats the whole purpose of scripting. But whatever.
Yeah, you it should come up in the console if there's something wrong instead.
Yeah, exactly.
That was weird.
Right. The next step is you want to create. So if you go back to the vehicles folder, you want to create another .mr file. So you see how there's like 3 right now.
Yeah.
There's default, goofy, and Italian. So we'll just create another one. Just call it like Sieben and .mr.
Yep, cool.
And then you can copy the contents of any of the other ones. And the only thing you have to change is the vehicle asset file parameter, which is on line 28.
Line 20. Okay, yep, cool. And that'll just be 7.
Yeah. So we're gonna have to come back later and adjust like things like the wheelbase and
Yeah,
the
probably.
track because we haven't set those yet. But we'll cross that bridge when we get to it.
Well, I already know what that is. I can just go like this approximately.
Yeah, we could do that.
There we go. 1.27 meters. What next?
Okay, that should be everything here. Now the only other step is you want to open main.mr, really old school setup here, and then you can change the import line on line 12 to the vehicle that we just made.
Okay, so this gets now changed to my vehicle's MR file name, which is 7. Save that. Engine, I don't know what this is. Is that a good engine?
Yeah, that'll be fine for our purposes.
Cool.
And that should be everything, actually. Now we just hope that the application opens and doesn't blow up. That's the next step.
Where am I going now?
You're going inside bin. And
it's so neat in here. Oh,
yep,
it's so neat.
It is actually neat. I know, it's incredible.
Oh, okay. It's less neat now.
Okay, so basically it had an issue with something that we've done. And now we got to figure out what that is. So we can look at some of these logs to perhaps determine the source of the issue. So there's nothing here, so it wasn't an issue there. Check this one. Okay, so it's not an issue with the script. The only other possibility is there is something that we did not do correctly in the Blender file.
Potentially. I'm just going to try doing what we did with Blender. No, okay, that didn't fix the issue.
Yeah, no, this is the other thing. This is like, there's no real error reporting, which is why I probably wouldn't recommend that anyone actually, tries to mod this seriously. If people start doing it, then I will probably add error checking, but I just don't have time.
Is it that this isn't in line, maybe? I've just realized.
No, that should be fine. Usually this happens if there's something missing. But okay, so we can actually do this. So if you send me the DIA file, I can literally I can figure out why it's crashing in like 2 seconds, because I can just run it through like my my developer version.
Oh, you got the fancy version with all the bells and whistles?
Well, I mean, I have a debugger, so... Okay, so it's complaining here about something. Okay, can you quickly make sure that all of the objects in your scene have... how do I describe this? Like, make sure that everything is unwrapped, like has UVs, and make sure there's no non-net type stuff.
UVs are not great when they come out of automation, as you can see.
Oh, okay. That could be part of it.
What if I just do a smart UV unwrap, so it's all in parts and just a complete mess, but at least it's all neatly in there. Does that work?
So the only issue with doing it that way is that it actually creates a lot of extra geometry, and it just makes it more expensive to render. The UV map doesn't have to be good. It literally just has to exist because the game engine expects it right now, and I just haven't configured it to like ignore it if it's not there. Is that even possible? So for some reason, this file has 8 different UV channels. Does this sound...
hold on, let me have a look. Yep! Oh
okay.
dear! Go get rid of all of the other ones I don't need?
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, it should still work, but I've never tested it. Like, it's very possible that it just doesn't, because I've never tested it with that many UV channels. Okay,
so for people that don't know about this one, you got the green triangle here. Under here, you'll expand the UV maps. So we'll just get rid of the... Yeah, that's something I completely forgot about as well. Try that again?
Yeah, let's try it again.
All right,
so all of the objects have just one UV channel now, right?
Yep, I'm going to save before I try to export. Don't want to have the same issue.
Yeah.
Then... Please work. Ah!
Okay, so send me the new file that you just exported. So I'm looking at the format here, and it like doesn't look exactly as I would expect. I'm not sure how to interpret what I'm seeing right now, but well, for some reason your model contains a vast quantity of degenerate geometry. I'm not sure what that means exactly or how that's possible.
Degenerate. So you mean I can go in and I can go select all by trait and loose geometry, maybe?
Yeah, I just want to see which object is the culprit here. Yeah, this is like I literally was...
Okay, yes, there is a lot here apparently around the lights. So let's go in. I'll just select all of these again. So red, gray, blue, black. All right, there is a lot. You are right. Select all by trait, loose geometry, delete vertices. Okay, there shouldn't be any loose vertices anymore. Should I try that now?
I just want to check because there could be more than one that it's complaining about. Yeah, this is like I literally was just working on the automatic degenerate geometry, like it's actually not that easy to like filter it out and maintain the integrity of the model. So that's probably what's happening. There's just like there was so many of them.
All right, let's see if my audio drivers crash again. Hey, I'm in! Hold on!
Oh, did it actually work this time?
Yep, actually worked.
Oh my, we got some. Okay, there's some strange things.
Z fighting? Yeah. So that's called Z fighting, right?
Yes, but there's something else going on. In addition, like there's something that's causing the Z fighting. It looks like it's mixing up a bunch of indices in the geometry.
You're right. There's actually I'm gonna alt tab so I can show this better. Why are they going off on weird lines like that?
So I think this has to do with the degenerate geometry. I think it's messing up the it's basically messing up the way that it indexes the geometry. You can get a better look at it by pressing tab, and then you can change views.
Oh, how do I move the camera around?
Okay, the steering wheel's a little cursed. Okay, you can press tab again. That'll give you kind of like a turntable.
Oh, you're one of these people. Inverted camera controls. This is gonna take a little bit to get to. Oh my god, you've even inverted the X and Y.
Does the actual steering wheel turn? Is the important question.
Yes, it does.
Okay, I mean, apart from the crazy exploded geometry, everything else is fine.
Which is only one object. I know the exact object it is. I don't know why it's doing it though. So if we go back to Blender and I share the screen with you.
Yeah, I have a feeling if we clean up the degenerate geometry, see, it should, like the actual loader should be able to fix that. It's just I wrote it today, and I haven't tested it with anything like this substantial. So,
all right. So this is the one that seems to be having the problem. So if we go back here, it's not everything. The hood area and the suspension is fine. It's just everything. If we click over, it's like this tail light area on one side only, and all the interior and dash area. So if we go back to Blender,
try to find like any loose vertices. I have a feeling this is.
Oh, okay. I just went and merged by distance, and there was 17,000 removed.
Okay.
Okay.
That could be part of it.
Let's close that off.
Okay.
Nope.
So, is it any different at least? So what?
It looks the same.
So the seats, are they part of that same object?
Yep, the seats and the dash and the windshield, but not everything is being affected.
Yeah, it's just like if there is an object that has a lot of these like loose vertices and like loose edges and stuff, that will potentially cause that problem. I don't know if Blender has a way of like easily finding stuff like that though.
So use it your own people. If you're going to use this, just know that this may be your result. It's not going to be perfect. Oh, goodness, the front grille. Oh, dear.
The grille's a little cursed as well. Yeah, there's something weird going on.
Also, the steering wheel is underneath the ground, like the big steering wheel is still there.
Yeah, see, that's a little more mysterious. Okay, what happens if we actually move the vehicle?
Alright, how do I do that again?
So, well, one easy way to do it is to literally just move the vehicle with the starter. So if you just press S...
There we go.
Yeah, so for some reason, the steering wheel is like parented to the car somewhere.
I may have accidentally done that.
But, because there's clearly like 2 copies of it.
Yeah. This is very loud, by the way.
Yeah, probably.
Is there a volume control for this?
No, but you could probably change it with like the Windows mixer.
Yeah, I'm about to do that right now. Oh, no, it's steering whilst... Oh, good! The car flies. That helps.
Yeah, physics is not a thing in this game, apart from the wheels contacting the infinite plane of existence.
Okay. I'm gonna drop that down to like 25%. For my own sanity.
Yep.
Well, this is fantastic. I do at least get to drive my car. And oh, it's drifting!
This is probably the most cursed creation I've seen so far.
How many people are submitting cars for you to see? Oh god.
Well, I mean, only like 3 or 4 people have tried it, and all the cars. To be fair, all of the cars that I've tried actually worked. So I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying.
A lot of the people that are going to be working on this are not going to have you to help them. Oh, I stalled. So yeah, making maps. You said we were talking about it earlier. It's not going to be particularly hard, you said. Can we go up and down, or is it all just going to be on this infinite plane of flatness?
For now, it is the infinite plane of flatness. Yeah.
Okay. Is that going to be a thing that you do in the future if the game gets popularity?
If enough people like it, I will consider putting... So, kind of the thing is, this was literally just meant to be like, look at this terrible game that has good audio. That was like the whole joke behind this video.
Fair enough.
But I mean, if people actually want it and it like starts getting a lot of attention, maybe like I'll probably consider it.
I'm gonna go full throttle. Oh no, wrong way. Oh my god, this is. It's fun. It's funny. It is also super jank. All right, let's try to figure out this this steering wheel issue that we've got.
There's just so many things that are broken. Like I'm just looking at it right now, and there's just okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. Okay, so the problem is somewhere. Okay, I think it's there. So do you see how my wheel is also underneath vehicle root? So you definitely don't want it there. Why is it there anyway? Okay, you can press. I think it's Alt P or something to unparent.
Alt P.
Like to
clear parent.
Yeah, clear the parent, and yeah, that's fine. So
okay.
it got removed from under the vehicle root. Yeah, that's fine. So that's the correct one. That should be everything.
Yeah, unclear as to what the bad geometry is. That's probably something I could probably go in and investigate myself, but also I don't care because that's not what this game is about. It's just about having a little bit of fun.
Yeah. I mean, I'll probably like adjust the importer to actually be able to filter out. Like I have a feeling what's going on here is there's like just a single edge or like an extruded vertice on its own, and that it just tends to like throw off the indexing of the vertices for the GPU if they're not filtered beforehand.
Hey, there we go. Fix the wheel thing.
Yeah. So that was just that was a pretty easy thing to fix. You also left the default like ball not actually necessary.
Oh, okay, so we can delete that. I was gonna ask about that, but I wasn't entirely sure.
You can delete that.
It's right there. And delete. Okay, so that's a thing. I'm gonna move the body parts up because they're clipping a little bit. And yeah, good. My tires aren't clipping no more. Non-manifold. I don't know what that means. Ah, okay.
Yeah.
We've got selected just a loop with vertices there. Okay.
If you press G and move that around, is that actually connected to anything?
Not by the looks of it.
That's a problem. Like that is what you'd call degenerate geometry.
Okay.
Which is probably part of what's throwing it off. I'm kind of annoyed because they should be filtered out. Then we wouldn't have had this issue. But
I think we're good. Okay. That's how you troubleshoot that, apparently.
Yeah, we could try this again. Well, I mean, this process won't be necessary. Like, once I fix the bugs, like, I'll use the file that you sent me, and I'll fix the step that filters out stuff like that automatically. It was supposed to do that, but it missed them for some reason.
Does that make me a game tester then?
Yeah, kind of.
Let's give that a try. Let's see if that's fixed the issue.
Let's see what happens.
Hey, look at that! How do I... there we go.
That was definitely... I mean, there's still some, like, wonkiness in certain areas, which I think is a very similar problem.
I'm
like
seeing
in the lights in the back.
I did only do it to the black part, so that part there is a different part again. So yeah, you would just go through and do that to all of them. And then make sure... I just want to point one thing out. I didn't make a big deal of this, but the very last thing that you should select is under non-manifold. Make sure that wire is the last thing you try out and delete wire last, because sometimes you're deleting faces and then the wire is what needs to go last, because I deleted some stuff which created more wires. Look at that, I have a perfect car. Isn't it the best thing in the... Oh, I can't see the steering wheel.
Yeah, you might have to adjust the seating position a little bit.
Just a smidge.
Just to move it back or something.
But man, this is cool. Thank you so much for making these games, Ange. How do I turn my car on? I want to drive whilst talking about this.
Yeah, so you can...
There we go.
Yeah, you can just use the starter to start it. Probably not recommended in real life, but in this cosmic realm of racing, it's perfectly acceptable.
But yeah, oh my god, bro. You keep doing things that we just don't really expect. When do we get superchargers, turbochargers, diesels? Like, is there a timeline?
Well, basically, so the kind of the context behind this, or the whole point behind this project, was I just wanted to demonstrate the new game engine that is going to run Engine Simulator 3D. So I spent like the last month working on that, and this was sort of the culmination of that project, just as a proof of concept that it works. So now that that's done, I'm basically going to start building out the like 3D interface of the 3D version of Engine Simulator, and like reworking some of the audio and the simulation code. And in that process, that's basically where I'm going to start adding like the commonly requested features, like turbocharging and supercharging. And there are some like very knowledgeable people in the server, in the Engine Simulator server, that know a lot about ECUs. So they're going to help me put together like a really good ECU simulation. Oh,
that's going to be cool.
Things are going to escalate very quickly in the next few months.
God, this is hard to drive.
Yeah. The funny thing is, I actually spent like a few hours learning how to play this game just so that I could get like a passable recording at the end of the video. Because I didn't want to like make a recording and it was just like really sloppy, bad driving.
like what I'm doing right now.
Yeah, kind of like this. Like, I mean, I don't want people to click off my video, no offense. But like, that's really... that was really what I was concerned about. And I spent like way too much time just playing this like useless game just to get that end footage.
I mean, you may call it useless, but you didn't have your own vehicle in at the time, so I can...
Yeah.
Also, I'm more of a car game sort of guy, so I'm loving the hell out of this right now.
This was just meant to be a week at most working on this. This was like this...
Did you spend a month?
No. So I spent the last month working on the game engine. So the game engine is like a reusable piece of code. I'm going to be using it to power Engine Simulator. So I literally spent like 3 days on this. Okay, I just want people to know, like, this was not like, this was not like a month of effort here. I literally spent like 3 or 4 days leading up to the release of the video, and then I've been kind of like, improving it since the video released, just to add like the modding features that we're using right now. But no, like this is not like a month project or anything.
Okay.
I just want to be clear about that.
Well, that's pretty awesome then. I thought so this is like on the back end, the entire game engine that's going to be used for the Engine Simulator and all of the UI and all that sort of stuff. That's rather cool. All right, guys, I hope you all have enjoyed today's video. I would also like to thank my channel members, myself even, and that specifically includes DeHellerman for being a top tier channel member. For the rest of you, I'll catch you all next time. Goodbye.